Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video. So it's about time to go ahead and upgrade the braking system on this Z car, and I've got a lot of new parts that are ready to be installed on this, including rear brakes, front brakes, brake booster delete kit, and all that stuff. So we're going to go ahead and start getting this installed. And first I'm going to show you everything that I got for the rear brake Willwood kit. Alright, so here is most everything that I got from the kit. This kit's from Silver Mine Motors, and this is the 240, 260, 280Z rear brake Willwood kit. Comes with the rotor, this CNC'd aluminum adapter plate, of course the Willwood calipers, brake pads, and then also some flexible brake line there. So we're going to get this installed, but I also got the ARP wheel studs. Alright, and so for comparison, I wanted to show you the new wheel studs compared to the front and rear. So there on the furthest left are two example studs from the front rotors. There in the middle are the rear, so you can tell that the front and rear are different lengths. And then on the right, those are the new ARP studs. So they're quite a bit longer, and they're going to work out really well. And then there is a new lug nut, nice and steel, to upgrade from the aluminum. And here's the part number on those ARP studs in case you wanted to go ahead and pick yourself up a set. And I'm also going to be installing a brake booster delete on this car. And here is the box that it came in. Give you a close-up of the Willwood caliper here, 4-piston. Pretty nice. Alright, so all of these studs are nice and tight, and we can go ahead and install our adapter plate for the new caliper. Now, I've of course already cut the drum brakes off, so if you haven't done that, you'll need to do all that work. But I did that a long time ago to get these coilovers installed. Alright, we'll set this rotor on there, and just to note, I did have to grind down these edges a little bit in order to fit these rotors, so I did have to do that. And then it'll be time to put the caliper on. Alright, so it's pretty simple here. We've got the caliper, pretty simple to install the brake pads, so yeah. Alright, so I just had to pull the caliper off because I forgot about this fitting here that goes in the back and it's hidden behind this little sticker. So this is where the brake fluid goes in behind this little sticker here. So I'm going to install this with some thread tape and go ahead and reinstall it on the car. Alright, so here's what it looks like. Got that fitting in the back of the caliper there, and then I've got the brake line routed in a manner that's not going to interfere with the wheel. And I might just go ahead and throw a zip tie on it, but otherwise it's looking pretty good. Alright, so some of you may be thinking that, or saying that I installed these rotors on the wrong side, but actually with this rotor design it does not matter which side that you put it on. So you can debate me, whatever, but the research that I saw, it only matters if the vanes in the middle of the rotor are directional, and these are not. These are straight planed vanes, so it does not matter which side the rotors go on. So you can see that those dimples and slots are angled a certain way. So if I were to switch these driver's side to passenger side, it would look differently. But since the vanes on the inside of the rotor are straight and not curved, it does not matter which side you put those on. Alright, so here we're looking at the vanes of a rotor, and this is basically the middle section. And so you can see all the way through to the center on this rotor. So that means that these vanes are straight and not curved or directional. So this tells us that we can pretty much put this on any side of the car, driver's side or passenger side, and it's not going to make a difference. Alright, we've got the Stage 4 big brake kit here from Silvermine Motors. So you can see we've got the rotor, we've got a big piston here, did not get the Willwood conversion. Just a little bit too pricey for me. You know, I paid full price for this and the rear kit. So yeah, that's pretty expensive. So I decided to save a little bit of money and go with you know, the Stage 4 rather than the Willwood. I've got this aluminum bracket here, this spacer deal. I've got the brake pads, of course. Got the miscellaneous hardware for keeping the pads within the caliper. So I've already installed the driver's side, and I can show you what this looks like. So there it is. You know, I did spend an hour and a half trying to figure out how exactly it all went together. They did have a picture online, so that was good. But mainly I spent my time trying to figure out the brake pad situation, because the brake pads are different, not the same for each side. So I'll show you that. Here are the two brake pads that go on the sides. And you can see this one has kind of a metal piece at the top, and this one does not. So when I first started installing this, maybe it was my mistake. I thought, you know, two of the same would go on each side. I didn't realize that they were different. So I had two of these brake pads on, and whenever I was spinning the wheel, this metal piece was grinding into this spacer deal. So then I finally realized that these are different and they have to be installed correctly and together in order to get it to work correctly. So just a little hiccup that I wanted to point that out to you guys. And now let's go ahead and get this installed on the passenger side. I'm going to give you, you know, a brief installation demo here, and then see how it goes. Just a little old versus new comparison. I think the upgrade is going to do a big favor for braking on this car. You can see the thickness difference there. Just to give you an idea of what we're looking at here, I'm just going to slide this guy on top of there. Actually, first we got to install the new wheel studs, otherwise we won't be able to get... Ah, dang it, I forgot to knock the old ones out. Alright, I gotta do that first. Alright, now we can go ahead and install the new wheel studs. It's a shame that I had to buy a whole pack just because I needed one more, because they sell these in packs of 5. So, oh well. Throw these in there. Oh, I guess I got 4 left over. Alright, so now that everything's put back together, it's time to go ahead and pull these studs through. You've already seen me do this once before, so I'm going to go ahead and knock that out really quick. I do want to mention that these are already freshly built, rebuilt bearings and grease in here, so there's no reason to change it. They don't have any miles on them. So if you have not done so, you probably want to go ahead and add new grease and bearings and do all that. Alright, so now it's time to get this Willwood brake booster delete kit installed, and I've already got it mocked up and in the spot that I want to go ahead and drill the holes. And you can see, unfortunately, the mounting bracket that came was a little bit smaller than the original holes, so yeah, it would have been really easy if that was the same size, but it's not. They don't make a direct kit for this car, so I'm going to drill new holes, and then I'll make a little cover plate to cover the existing holes in the back. But I'll show you what it looks like inside the car. Alright, so here's a look from inside the car. You can see here's the bolt part of the master cylinder, and then I do have it connected to the brake pedal here. It's a little short, so I'll need some kind of extending rod to reach the brake pedal, because right now the brake pedal is pulled to the firewall. All right, so I've got the holes drilled and I already test fitted the brake master cylinder and it fits in there. So now I'm building this template, first starting out of paper. I've got the holes marked, and this is going to cover up the OEM holes that the current adapter plate doesn't cover up. So I'm about to transfer this to some metal and then see how it fits. Alright, I got my little adapter plate all cut out and the holes drilled and prepped for paint. I was having a hard time deciding if I wanted to paint it black, like kind of the rest of the engine bay, or just paint it, the dark gray to match the firewall. But I went ahead and went with the dark gray. I kind of wanted to blend in and look like I don't have this extra bracket on there. So we'll see how it looks in the gray. Alright, so I don't like the way that gray backing plate that goes against the firewall looks. It just kind of looks tacky. It doesn't flow very well. So I'm going to paint it black, and I actually drew it out on my phone to see what it would look like, and I think that looks better. So now I'm going to pull it back apart, paint that back piece black. Alright, well there it is. Finally got it all installed and everything is tight and snug. So, now that this is in, I need to go ahead and start, well the next step for the brakes is to start running the hard lines and everything. But I don't have those yet. I wanted to get everything, all the brakes mounted and this mounted up before I started actually doing the brake lines. So this looks good. I want to show you what it looks like on the inside of the car because I did get a little bit lucky of where those bolts came in at. Alright, so here we are in the footwell area, and you can see where all the bolts are coming in at. You can see that structural piece that I just missed with these bolts right here. Yeah, I'm happy that I didn't have any issues with this. It was closer on the other side actually. Right there. So if it was a bit further to the left, I would have definitely had a lot more trouble with this, but luckily we're good. Alright YouTube, that's going to be it for this one. It's really awesome that I've got all 4 brakes on the car, some nice Willwoods in the back and some pretty big calipers in the front to get this thing to slow down when I need it to. So, that's really awesome. Next is running the brake lines and, bleeding the system and all that good work. I want to show you what I'm working on now. And this will be in probably a future video, but I'm working on the exhaust. I just welded on the V-band for the wastegate so we can start routing that. And then I've also got some tubing here to start making the exhaust. And this is also V-band. So put this and start routing it down there. But yeah, that's what I'm working on. I'm probably just going to do it downpipe to get this motor started. But yeah, that's what's going on. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Now, after a long couple days of hard work, got to get the garage cleaned up.